Sahana at the platform of IES Center for Skill Design. I request all the participants, we will wait for 2 to 5 minutes more as many people are trying to join on Microsoft Teams. So I request participants, we will start the session in 5 minutes of time. Thank you.
Hi everybody. I welcome you all for a meeting play by IES Center for Ceramic Design. Today we have Mr. Shishir Sahana, Professor in
Namaskar.
Ceramic and Glass Department of Design in Kala and Bhavan, Vishnu Bharati Shantiniketan. Mr. Shishir Sahana completed his bachelor's in fine arts and master's in fine arts from Vishwa Bharati Shantiniketan. In 1992, he received a junior research fellowship in field of glass painting. In 2008, he received a senior fellowship, research fellowship. He has participated in many solo and group exhibition and demonstration work in India, as well as in US, UK, Switzerland, Indonesia, Singapore, and Thailand. In 2009, 19, he was offered a residency program by Petersburg Glass Center, US. Mr. Shishir Sahana is also a filmmaker. He has directed two films in 2006, A Life of an Artist named Prithvi in Bengali and Telugu, and in 2009, Mati O Manusha in Bengali, which received a jury award from the New Hope Film Festival, US. In 2013, Nandan Mela, Kala Bhavan, and Shanti Niketan, A Collective Spirit. In 2012, Surya Prakash, A Journey Life Through Art. These are the few documentary films that he has directed and produced. I welcome Mr. Shishir Sahana. Thank you for joining us today, sir.
Namaskar. Thank you all. It is a pleasure to be a part of this conversation series.
So I would like to request you to start your presentation.
Yes, thank you very much, Yashasri ji. And I thank all the participants who are listening to me and other participants in this program. I thank personally to the Institute for Skill Development Center for Ceramic Design, and on behalf of them, Yashasri ji, Mamata ji, and one of our students, Motan. She is also one of the organizers, and I thank you all for such beautiful arrangement where we can talk about clay and some other chemical substances that make wonderful art as usual. And beside that, since thousands of years, people have been playing with these materials to have their livelihood as a part of the ceramic industry and ceramic art and craft practice. So we will have a kind of very short session of discussion on how from thousands of years ago, about 28,000 years ago, the ceramic pot making started by people. Handmade industry developed so much. And I know today that ceramic industry is everywhere in the world. And also beside the high-tech industrial sections and sectors, there are a lot of people in the villages and here and there have been practicing this material so much manually as it used to be even thousands and thousands of years ago. So that's how both the technologies are going on together. And beside that, I would like to also discuss about glass, which some people talk a component of ceramics actually. Again, some people have a different opinion. Some people think glass is not part of a ceramic. So I will have a very little discussion about these both the materials, ceramics and so-called glass, whether this glass can be said as a part of ceramic or not. So let me discuss the material area of ceramics. And this ceramics is, I would say, a group of different materials, different technologies, actually, based on clay. Like today, we call the brick industry is also under ceramic. The cement industry, even some people say glass is also part of ceramics. And of course, we all do practice about stoneware, earthenware, porcelain. So these are the all practices related to clay can be called ceramics. And if I differentiate between ceramics and glass, then there are a lot of chemicals, lot of minerals which are very similar in both the materials. Like I would say about silica, feldspar, barium carbonate, and of course, sometimes soda and borax. These are few components which are used in both the materials, both the techniques of ceramics and both the properties of ceramics and glass. But the differences are very clear because I'm sure most of the students and most of the participants in this program are from ceramic background or they do practice with clay. So it is very easy for them to understand the similarities in both the mediums. Like differences, if I talk about the China clay, we don't mix in glass. The ball clay, we don't mix. But the feldspar and glass are common materials, common substances in both the materials. But when we prepare the form, then the differences become very familiar to us because we heat the clay properties in very high temperature, either it is earthenware or stoneware or porcelain, to get the form which is having some sort of hardness. We say vitrified, that is the correct term. So unless they are properly vitrified in high temperature, we cannot use them properly for any either art form or for utility objects. So for that, we need to prepare the clay very properly. Otherwise, it is very difficult to get good result if we take so much of care in firing to high temperature around 1200 to 1400 degree temperature for getting vitrification or biscuiting. In the first stage of glass making, again, the differences can be found. Glass, first making from the raw material. If I have to make it from the raw material, then I need to mix properly a very good quality chemicals or minerals, whatever we say. So they are basically silica, 60 to 70% silica for a good quality glass. Silica is not that sand we get in the river band. We get it from the good quartz factory. We say this is quartz. And with that, we mix soda, borax, lime, and feldspar. And of course, there is no restriction in these properties. So people keep mixing a lot of different substances for a different kind of glass making or glass forming. Now, after mixing this, we do go to high temperature to around 1400 to 1500 degrees Celsius for melting these raw materials into workable format. So clay is prepared when it is cold in cool format, but glass is made when it is in molten format or softened format. So there is a basic difference between both the materials. And again, glass is called non-crystalline material and ceramic is called crystalline material because the atoms within the component, within the body of clay remains vitrified when I heat it up in very high temperature. But in glass, those molecules are not identified when they are merged in high temperature. So it is called non-crystalline material. So that is the basic difference. And sometimes glass is called supercooled liquid because it becomes hard and solid when it becomes cooled. Now, the next stage is annealing for both the materials if I talk about. Annealing is very important for glass annealing is called cooling down from the high temperature to the room temperature. In this case, ceramics do not need so much of annealing because it has very good thermal shock resistance power. That is why ceramic is used in electrical component, microwave, and for many other heat proof or heat resistant properties or materials are made out of ceramics. Whereas the glass is also electric proof, but both are fragile. Again, at the same time, glass is having a lot of thermal shock problem, because glass, if you hit all of a sudden, if you fire it very fast, it will crack, it will break. If you cool the glass very fast, it will break. On the other hand, ceramic can be cooled down faster, but cannot be heated up very fast because of the molecules and atoms within the surface, within the body, needs to settle slowly, and demoisturizing the item needs some sort of time, as you all know. But in the case of glass, it can be heated up first because it can shock the temperature first, but releasing temperature takes so much of time. Because of that, annealing is a very, very crucial part of glass. That is why every kind of glass needs a different kind of schedule of annealing the program or setting the program for annealing. In that case, I will say 1-inch glass may take about 24 hours to 30 hours time to cool down the glass. Again, if I make a glass piece about a block of 6 inches by 12 inches thickness block, that glass may take about 20 days to 1 month time inside the annealing kiln to cool down. And there are a lot of schedules for different kind of glass annealing. So it is quite crucial when we cool down the glass or annealing the glass from the melting temperature or softening temperature to the room temperature. So we do not have so much of time here to discuss about the annealing schedule, the properties, and why it cracks, and a lot of other differences cannot be discussed in different forum. But here I would only say both are different, but at the same time, both are similar to each other in some areas of chemical compositions, workability, and also we do use a layer of glass that is called glaze on the surface of ceramic body in the sense of stoneware or earthenware. So we know we do use a layer of glass on the ceramic body. But now one may say, if they do not go together, what is the reason? They do not go together because of the compatibility problem between glass and ceramic. They are in the same group. We do use glass layer onto the surface of the ceramic body as glaze, but that is a very, very thin layer, very, very thin layer, not even 1 mm, very, very thin layer. That is why it exists, it remains on the surface. But if glass layer is little thicker, you all experience that will crack because the compatibility problem. They do not go together because the compositions and properties are very, very different of glass and ceramics. But many people try to mix them together. They failed because they can never go together. It is like one group of blood mixing in other group of blood because they don't match, and they go together when they match. So this mismatch is called compatibility problem between ceramics and glass. Even I would show later on that even the glasses, blue glass, green glass, black glass, if you mix them together, they do not go together, they do not match together because of the compatibility problem. Every manufacturer has their different manufacturing properties of the material. Like some people use 60% silica, some people use 50% silica. Similarly, if you use stoneware clay from different companies or try to mix them together, they will not match, they will crack. Many people think, "Arey purana clay hai, laga do," but that may not match, because you always remember that compatibility is a major issue in ceramic and glass industry and in both the sectors. So in this case, glasses also do not melt together when they are not compatible. So what we do, what I do, I buy from the same company and see in testing whether they are melting together. But if you buy the same glass, blue glass from the same shop, next after 1 or 2 months, that may not match because they are very different. In this way, in India, it is a very, very difficult to work in glass because we do not play with the colors or colored glasses because it's not available in the market. They say they go together, sir, aap leke jaiye, but if you bring them, you must test melting them together. They may crack because they don't go together. But in abroad, if you see in Europe, America, they have a list of glasses in the shelves. You just pick them up. It's written compatible glasses and 100% they are compatible glasses. You just pick them up, all the colored glasses, melt them together properly, and they will give you annealing cycle too. Just melt, anneal them into different forms, and you enjoy the working in glass. But in India, it is very difficult. So you compromise in every sector, working with the material, whatever is available with us. But still, we do work. We localize our technology, we localize our material, and try to find out solutions within the limitations we have in our country in the working of ceramics technology, especially glass and ceramics, where the materials are not as reliable as it has to be. So I will now present some sort of artworks. Not all of them are made by me. Just as a reference, I would show to talk about the differences between glass and ceramics and how people have been working. Like the pot made thousands of years ago in India, we can see the engobe is beautifully applied, and the technology was not like today they had. It was basically manually formed, manually fired technology they use, not with electric, not with gas, not with properly thermocouple using system, not with the what do we say, programmer system, electrical programmer system, but still they achieved the quality, achieved the aesthetics of it. So this is what is important. Once you have a proper knowledge of working with this technology, then you definitely achieve the goal of making it. But today we do have a lot of technologies, but still I am not sure how much differences we could make with the modern technology. Here it is made in Japan. Japanese are very famous, Japanese ceramics, porcelains. We know that they are very famous in the skill aspect and also the technological aspect. So it is not that one can easily make. The artist was very skilled. They achieved the goal of technology, what color will give what result. And the surface of the pot is so beautifully finished, and you can say commercially it could be very successful event if someone can make something like this. So always we cannot say this could be utility object, but one always cannot say this is a commercial. What is the meaning of commercial? So much of artistic aesthetic sense developed within the pot, the color combination, the form. This is what is art, and we always have a kind of argumental mentality of differentiating craft and art. Anything what appeals you, what makes sense, I would say considering that can be a good art form. So this is how. So one has to achieve the goal. So like this, if someone can achieve this result in ceramic industry, which is made in Italy. So this is what is the significant ceramic practice, ceramic art practice, I would say, can sustain for over the years and thousands of years if one can really become master of making such beautiful ceramic objects. Again, from the past, I showed you from three continents. Again, the contemporary ceramics have changed a lot. You cannot find any utility items here, but they are all inspired by nature, various forms displayed, made with earthenware, and the selection of space is so interesting and very aesthetically thought of that the artist has developed a significant aesthetic value within the display and the purpose of display in the space. This is how contemporary art changed from only utility items to creative aspects of thoughtful imagination. Ceramic, just some plates, and can you see how beautifully these are assembled together? So ceramics, but when you talk about individuality and artistic perception and conviction, then I would say this is how artist thinks to develop and progress the technology when it comes to individual hands. Only the plates, but the display makes it a carpet, and this carpet becomes so artistic and indifferent that it can be remembered forever, that ceramic plates can be arranged in such a way to discover another artistic value in this. Similarly, only drinking containers or glass, but previously one used to make only one individual pot for drinking tea or drinking water, drinking fruit juice, but the artistic mind, the perception of the individual made the differences, assembled them together as installation, and the color combination, very little yellow here and there in the borders, and some containers have got yellow and some gap space, the division, the light and shade, the color combination, everything becomes part of very interesting art object here. So this is how the clay in the individual hand makes the magic of technology, magic of creativity, the magic of perception, how to make good aesthetic value and how to make aesthetically rich art object. Here, I would say wonderful perception in terms of subjectivity. This could be the same material of clay, but clay is not meant for only drinking tea or having food. It is not only utility, but utility items are also interesting and important. But here, in this case, I would say artists made it so skillfully. You can see the surface of the body is very, very skillfully made. But at the same time, he has broken these areas to break his soul, to show the broken heart, to show the broken existence, to show the broken mind. So this is all is important when it comes to the hand of an artist. The same clay is expressed in different way. Again, this is one of my part of the murals where the same ceramic stoneware is made on a mural surface with little 2D relief motif where stain is used, and the subjectivity was the brave man, like a strength of human being. This is what is expressed in this work. This is one of my works where I have used ceramic and glass together. So in contemporary art, material, mediums, they all are mixed together to express one's creativity, one's idealistic nature. So in that way, the title was Share It, where I wanted to show that a fruit may be mine or somebody else's, but let it share with all the people from the world, all the animals from the world. It is a property of the international characters. So all the people from the globe, all the animals from the globe can come together and share it. So it is not mine. So this is not a nationalism or nationalistic ideology. This is basically internationalism, which Rabindranath Tagore used to say, we have to share each and everything. If I like anything from anywhere in the world, that should immediately become mine. And this is where the internationalism exists. But today, there is a conflict between nationalism and internationalism. So that is why all the animals, they come from the folk characters and natures of individual nations, and they are coming together to share the fruit. So this is made in ceramic and glass both together. This is also the similar ideas, share it, medium glass and ceramic, where again I wanted to show that internationalism, or maybe the all the people should come together and have a common platform to enjoy the world, to enjoy the global nature. So this is how I make mold, and in the plaster mold, I work within the kiln sometimes and outside the kiln. This is how the mold is made with plaster and silica. Glass is melted within the plaster. I was breaking the mold to take out the image of glass here. So this is one just small example. And here, this is my studio, part of my studio, where I work with clay first. I make the image in clay, just earthenware clay. Then I mold it with plaster and silica so that it doesn't crack in heat. After making the mold, I sometimes pour molten glass. Sometimes I fuse various pieces of compatible glass together. So this is one of the fusing work I was talking about, where all these compatible glasses are fused together. What is the fused glass? When more than one glass pieces are melted together, joined together, is called fusing technique. So in this technique, I use some glass frits, glass colors, some glass sheets, which are all compatible to each other. So I melted this, and size of this will be around 18 inches by 14 inches, 15 inches, like that. So it's a three-dimensional glass sculpture. I made it just recently. This is one of my works in glass, where fusing technique and casting technique both are mixed together. They go together when they are used with the same glass particles or glass substances. If glasses are different, they will crack here. But in this case, glass material itself is similar, so they didn't melt. The image what you see here, it is inserted within the glass. This is a very critical technology where I make this piece separately, make this piece separately, and join them together in certain technical process, which needs good experience to mixing them to get together. And the process of pouring glass into the mold, I am pouring glass into the mold, can be seen here. And this shows that one has to work in this high temperature where glass melts in the furnace in 1450 degree. When I take out the glass from the furnace, it has to be around 1300 degrees centigrade. And when it comes from the furnace till the area where I'm pouring it, it becomes around 1000 to 1100 degrees centigrade. Then immediately after it cools down to 600 degrees centigrade, I need to close down the lid of the kiln. Otherwise, glass will cool down immediately and it will crack. So this is how the casting technology and casting process is involved with my artwork. This is another work of casting and fusing. This is fusing and this is casting. So mixing both the techniques and technologies are very critical, and it needs a lot of practice, but that practice can be achieved while working in the studio with this material. But I tried so much to keep these textures of fusion, where the ethnic quality of the animal can be visible here. and the former is within, because my subject was a farmer for a longer time and mostly the common people. This is one of my works in casting and fusing. This is all fusing technology. And I use a lot of use and throw material of glass that in the studio, I worked in Pittsburgh Glass Center. They threw off a lot of pieces, like these are the pieces they threw off because for them, they are little defective, they are rejected. So I picked them up from the garbage bin and melted them together. I thought this should be a very good, reference of working togetherness in the workshop, in the studio, where other people are throwing them, but again, they are participating in my work, in their contribution of making those small images, which I incorporated in my work and made my single piece. But again, they all are with me, with my work. So I made one big sculpture of Rabindranath Tagore in glass. So this is the head I made first in clay. Yes, I was installing that in near Shantiniketan in Bolpur. It was a government of West Bengal project to make Rabindranath in glass. So it is about 14 feet long artwork in glass. Inside is hollow, but I assembled it very carefully with the stainless steel components, pillars, so that it can withstand the nature. And if I talk about the withstanding the nature, then I would say it is very, very crucial that it is the glass is annealed very properly. Otherwise, in very sunny light, in very hot, in sudden hot and cold environment, glass may crack, glass may break. That is the reason the annealing of glass is very important. Beside that, if Amphan like storm comes, it should withstand the storm. And Bengal is famous for kind of storm. So I do consider that and made such internal arrangement so that any wind or storm, cyclone effect comes, that should not bother to my artwork. This is another big installation I did in Calcutta. It also it also went through the cyclone, but nothing happened to the artwork. The title was Growth. Growth in the sense of the area where I installed it. It was about 24 feet height glass sculpture installation, where I have shown the natural elements of leaves, and the form itself looks like a tree, and the participation of the contribution of human being like man on this side, and other side woman figure is there. With these elements and images and all kind of metaphors are making the growth. The growth is constituted with the environment, where you can see the environment has a lot of geometrical form of architecture. So since it is a public art, I had to consider the environment to merge with my artwork. Now, I will show the compatibility problem, what I was talking about. Some of my students tried to melt glass on ceramic body, ceramic surface, but it didn't work. It looks good, but you can see the image is cracked because it cannot go well without cracking. So there will be cracks, lot of cracks here and there in the glass, because the ceramic is not matching with the glass substance. So definitely it will crack, but it gives a very good, very different effect. And people have been using small pieces of glass on ceramic, but they crack. And this is very natural and normal. This is what I would show at the end of my presentation, that the compatibility problem is a major issue in glass technology, where you can see they all cracked. I tried to have a sample piece to show people why they crack. They are all from Firozabad glass industries. They told me these glasses are very good, sir, आप लेके जाइए, कुछ नहीं होगा, कहीं नहीं टूटेगा, आप सब एक साथ मिला के काम कीजिए. मैंने किया था, but at the end you can see in the testing piece I saw they all cracked. They are not going together because of the compatibility problem. They use for thinner surface, like they make bangles. Bangles have a very thin component that may not crack. But when you use in the thicker component, like 1 inch, 2 inches thick body mixing them together with other 2 inches body, they will not match, they will crack. So this is called the compatibility problem of glass. And so I'm sure I had a very little discussion about ceramic and glass. And if you have any questions, you can always ask. And over to Yashasri ji for taking on the session.
Thank you so much, sir. So we have some few questions. So I would like to ask you, when you first started to work in ceramics, sir?
I say when I was a student in Kala Bhavan in Shantiniketan, we had to do everything in first 2 years. Like it was a preparatory course. So during that 2 years time, I had to go through ceramic department, painting department, printmaking department, sculpture department, textile department, everything I had to cover. So during that period, I had first-hand experience about the clay, especially the earthenware, not the stoneware, but earthenware clay. We made a lot of small sculptures. So that was the first experience of working with clay. But I am from a village. So in the village, I always did a lot of images of gods, goddesses in clay. That was the usual habit of artistic mind. So I did discover a lot of things when I was in a village before coming to Kala Bhavan Shantiniketan. But after that, when I was in Hyderabad, during that period, I had my own studio. I had my own kiln in my workshop. So I had practiced a lot of small images of ceramic wares, like in the earthenware clay or with the help of stoneware clay. And I participated in a lot of interesting workshops, ceramic workshops, where I did work with this material. And beside that, I mostly worked with glass. When I started working glass since 1993, is it 93? No, 1993. After coming back from London of my St. Martin's College experience, where I studied stained glass. Since then, I really fall in love with the glass, and since then, I was doing this kind of glass experimentation throughout my life, and I've been still doing it beside my painting, beside clay and other art practices. Glass is my major material of practicing art.
So tell us about what is your constant source of inspiration in your work?
Actually, inspiration is not a kind of cone of ceramic that melts in particular temperature. Inspiration differs from time to time. Inspiration changes from time to time. Like your mind is actually your inspiration. What reacts to your mind becomes part of your expression, isn't it? So in that case, in every period of my experience, it changes and I react to my society. But one way I would say I never reacted to the urbanization. I always reacted to my surrounding with the common people, common man, farmers, their problems, because I am a farmer's son. I am from a farmer family. So that life I have experienced, and I do experience till now. And I do go to villages and see their life, the animals, the cows, the cattle, and the goats, and people living in that environment and making so much contribution for us. And that contribution becomes also kind of inspiration. Like in this devastating situation of pandemic, I did a lot of present artworks which are related to the vegetables, the fruits, what farmers basically produce. I thought they are the only needful thing today, and we need them very much. So we need the farmers. Then only they can create the farming things, properties like crops.
Okay. I would like all the participants, if you have any questions, you can put it in a chat box so Mr. Sahana can answer them. So tell us the journey about the sculpture, sir. Like these like glass and ceramic sculptures. I saw that big installation. How was the experience working on the big sculpture?
It was a very challenging work for me because first thing is putting it up in the nature outdoor, which is challenging because glass putting up out in outdoor environment was kind of dynamic decision made by one of the officers in West Bengal government. He saw my artworks of glass sculptures and he said, Sahana, can you make one big installation for us? I said, kahan pe sir? He said, you make it in outdoor in Calcutta where people would be able to see. Then I got really nervous because I made one small installation in Bangalore previously, but not in this case. That was inside somebody's garden. So garden has a protection from the wind. They had a lot of trees, a lot of buildings around. But in Calcutta, in open air, where a lot of wind flow, the environmental changes, environmental reaction will affect my artwork. So I was really nervous how to install it. But at the end, I thought this is a great challenge in my life. I never made 24 feet high glass sculpture installation. And this is the first installation in India, actually. India does not have any glass installation like what I did in Calcutta. So that was another challenge. Everybody was asking me, "Arey, kaise karoge? Bahar rahega, toot jayega." Then I said, "Let me try." But I did it. I took about 1.5 years to 2 years time to complete all the pieces made. Each piece is about 2 feet to 4 feet single piece. They are all composed together, joined together. And I bought very special extra clear glass, which is not greenish, which is very clear, good glass. Then I prepared special color. As I said, in India, it is very difficult to work with this material because you don't have proper material. You have to prepare the material. You have to compromise also in some cases where everything is not possible that I want to do. In abroad, the colors are available. You just pick up the colors and paint. But here I had to prepare the color along with the glass. Otherwise, other glass colors, if I use like stains and other ceramic colors, the colors will crack because of the compatibility problem. So in that case, every aspect was taken care. Then the installation, everybody was scared, the engineers and all said, itna hawa kaise le payega glass. I said, I will plan, you just execute it. So according to my plan, they executed, and it was very inspiring for me and a very happy moment when last year it went through Amphan. In Amphan, near the sculpture, in the surrounding area, a lot of buildings collapsed in Amphan store, but my works is sustaining still the way it was installed. So that is the great achievement in my life, to installing something which really suffered such cyclonic storm without any damage. So that was a good experience working with such huge scale of work in glass material.
So tell us about your residency at Petersburg.
Yes, because this is the problem I explained, that everything I wish I cannot do in glass technology in India, because I compromise, I adjust, but there is a limitation to adjust. Some sort of thirst I have in me, within my soul, that I feel like making them. Like the last work I showed you, the fusing and casting technique together, that cannot be achieved in our environment where glass is practiced. So I applied them in the residency. They accepted my residency program. They helped me so much. And I thought, let me do something what I cannot do in India. So there also it was a challenging artwork practice for me. Even the people in America, there are a lot of artists working in the same workshop around me. They used to wonder how I mix the fusing and casting together with different temperatures. So it was kind of different experiment for me also to see that how both the materials, both the mediums work together, mix together, and a lot of use and throw material they throw up, and I pick them up. So I use them. So that was a very different experience in America I had. And with this all kind of help and technological support, I tried to make something very different. And these all the works, I brought them to India, and I have been exhibiting in various galleries in the country, and works are still traveling in different exhibitions. But the experience is very good because I thought in India we do not have any art workshop working in glass technology like the one I have seen in Pittsburgh. Previously, I visited Creative Glass Center of America in New Jersey a few years back. I worked there twice. I have seen those workshops in America, in Europe. We can never have those set up in India. It is very, very difficult because they are completely dedicated to glass art practice and practice in glass technology.
Yes, I'm sure. So we have some questions coming in. So it's a question from Neha. So glass cracks when you use it in ceramics due to different temperature, but is there no way where ceramics can be blended with glass?
It is not possible. I tried myself. I asked a lot of engineers who are experts in ceramic technology. They said, "Bhul jaiye." Only one word he said, "Bhul jaiye aap." That means don't try. You will fail it because of the compatibility problem, not because of the temperature problem. And what is this compatibility problem? I explained that the composition, the properties of both the materials should match. I showed at the end of my presentation, the last piece, even the glasses did not match together. Glasses broke, like blue glass, orange glass, green glass, and clear glass. I tried to melt them together. They could not, they melted, but they cracked while cooling, while annealing. It will melt, but when you cool it down, it will definitely match when the stress occurs. It is called stress and strain of glass. And stress is called thermal expansion cohesion. So this thermal expansion is a major issue where the material should match together. If they do not match together, you can never melt them together. Only thin material can be melted with glass, which is copper, and thin layer of gold foil and silver foil. Otherwise, you cannot melt any other material with glass. मैंने बोला था सिरामिक के ऊपर ग्लास का पतला लेयर, द ग्लेज can be applied, but if we apply even thick glaze layer, the glaze layer will crack because of the compatibility problem. Even though with the glaze, we try to mix little clay body of the same property, of the same body of the ware to match in to some extent, even though it doesn't match. It only sticks, it helps to stick on the surface of the ceramic ware, but finally it cracks if it is in thicker layer. It is difficult. It's not possible.
Okay. So we have one more question. In your perspective, what do you think is the future of glass in our country in terms of practicing this as a medium of visual art?
It has been widely explored in India. When I started working in glass in India in 93, 94, I never saw anybody exclusively working in this technology. Of course, I started in 1993 when, in 1989, when my teacher K.G. Subramanian and Suhas Roy, both teachers used to practice glass painting, like painting behind the glass, kind of reverse painting on glass. So as a student of painting, I started experimenting on glass painting. Then I went to London to learn stained glass and glass fusion. That was in 1993. Since then, I have seen very, very few people in India have started working with this material. I think one problem is infrastructure. We do not have good infrastructure in the country to hire it or to get it shared. If you pay money also, you cannot have good sharing studios where you can really have a wide range of art practice in glass. So there are a lot of industries in Firozabad. One can visit to Firozabad and have good experience, visual experience, and one can even physically practice there in Firozabad. There are thousands of glass industries working day and night. So one can have that sort of experience and try to start with a very small scale infrastructure, making a small kiln, and then slumping process is the easiest method to start with glass technology. Other techniques are complicated. One has to learn slowly. So I would advise try making a kiln or in your own ceramic furnace. If your temperature goes up to 1000 degree, 1200 degree, that's enough to make small pieces of glass slumping. What is glass slumping? Make a mold of plaster or make a mold of ceramic fiber which resist temperature up to 1000 degree or 1200 degree. Any mold which resists the temperature up to 1000 degree or 1200 degree can be used, like sand resist high temperature, plaster resist high temperature, alumina, zirconium, selenium, then selenium bricks, and also silicon carbides. So these are the high temperature materials can be used as mold. Then just place a sheet of thin glass, 5 mm, 8 mm thin glass. Don't take risk of melting high thick glass at the beginning. Just melt it around 850 degree temperature and see the result. Then I am sure if we have a creative mind, you can discover, you can explore 100 possibilities out of that little inspiration from melting of glass. I am sure you will start exploring with your own imaginations.
So we have one more question from Surbi. I want to know about the history of ceramics in India. Like Japanese have a tradition in ceramics from ancient time. I heard about the earthenware in India in the civilization. Did ceramics have any contribution in ancient time, ancient Indian time, or is ceramics is new to India?
We do find a lot of ceramic beads and potteries in Indus Valley, like in Harappa and Mohenjo-daro civilization. But of course, the ancient history of ceramic comes from Egypt. It comes from Czechoslovakia. About 28,000 years ago, we found the small Venus form that was discovered in Czech. And before that, the Mesopotamia. Of course, the China, Japan, they had long scale history of working with clay and experimenting. They were much advanced, especially Egyptian and Greek potteries and Greek verses, what we have seen. They were much advanced, even those primitive ages, of course, when the people did not have good technology, did not have electricity firing system, did not have thermocouple to read the temperature, did not have programming system to program the firing techniques, even though when they didn't have properties properly to measure where it is pure material or not. Since then, they have been working very hard. When it came to India, India also started exploring a lot of ceramics and pottery, but the history begins with Egypt, Czech, China, and Japan.
Thank you, sir. So we have one more question from Shweta. Can we make colorful glasses as we make colorful glazes? Or can we use oxides in glasses as we use it in glazes?
I have been still trying. It is very difficult to explore, but one can make, of course, oxide gives you color. Like if you mix cobalt oxide, you get blue color. Chrome can give you green color. Silver oxide then can give yellowish or brownish color. Similarly, the stain is basically low temperatured color. But stain has clay body because it is opaque. But if you need clear transparency, then you have to mix color which is transparent, that is oxide. Oxide doesn't have any opaque properties unless it is mixed with china clay, ball clay, talc, or any other substances, chemical substances. So you can mix that and fire calcine it in high temperature around 1200 degree temperature with frits, glass frits. Glass frit is basically powder glass. But you must remember the powder glass you use to mix with 10 to 15% of any oxide with frit that same frit should match with the glass where you have been applying or you are going to apply that same color. That means the mismatch problem will again make cracks on the surface of glass. So what I do, if I am ready to use certain glass for my artwork, I make that glass into frits, make it powder in the ball mill, and I use chemical oxides, chemicals with the frit, a little bit of borax maybe, then melt them together or calcine it together and form it as a pigment of color. So same glass frit can be applicable to your artworks within the surface or within the surface. In that case, you will have no risk of breaking your piece. But remember to use the same frit of the same glass what you are going to use for your sculpture. It is possible, but you have to calcine in high temperature, around 1100 to 1200 degree in the ceramic kiln. You can fire it, calcine it, make it powder, and directly you can apply it onto the surface of glass. So you can make colored glasses as your own.
So we have one last question from Ashwini. With so much of variation in colors in India, with all your research work and experience, do you plan to work on having standard and definite set of collection here in India, or reach out to the artist with a written data?
It's a very good question, very good observation. And I'm glad that Ashwini raised a very good question because I struggled. I struggled throughout my life because I did not find anything what suits to my imagination, my expressive moments. I failed, I cried a lot whole day and nights because I could not solve the problems. When I started working in glass in 90s, then there was nobody who can advise me how to solve the problems. I was breaking my glass every day, every night, and I was really crying and sitting in my studio and thinking how to solve the problems. There was no answer. I had some teachers in London who used to practice stained glass. They replied me later. At that time, there was no phone, no email. So I used to write to them. They used to write the reply. So they used to say, Shishir, how can I tell you? I have to see the problem. And we are stained glass artists and you are making glass sculptures. So there's a lot of differences between the temperature, technology, and the form you have been practicing. So I cried. So the thing is, I recently started writing a book where I will give all the problems I have been facing. I will give the solutions. And I have been trying to note down all the technical data that I have discovered throughout my art practice in glass. And that I have been noting down. And in the course of time, when I am ready, definitely I want to help out my future generation who are interested working in glass. They should not face the problems I have faced. So I have taken the photographs of each problems and I have taken the photographs of my each stage of developing the technology and solving the problems. So that's how I am going to address in my next chapter of my books, and that will be my next endeavor. Hope it will come out and you all would see it, how it comes.
Thank you for participating in our talk, and thank you, sir, for joining us today. It was outstanding interaction. We have learned so many new techniques, and we are ready to explore, and we are eagerly waiting for your book to come so we can try and experiment. And thank you all participants for joining us today. Our next guest speaker is Dinah Flint, who will be talking about illustration on ceramics. So do log in on our Instagram page for further details. I'm handing over to Mamta for further requirements. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Yashashree Madam. Thanks a lot for giving your time and moderating this talk today. Thank you so much. I would really thank Mr. Shishir Sahana, sir. Sir, thank you so much for your precious time and all the valuable information which you have shared to our ceramic artists, our IA students. Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you so much.
It is a pleasure to share my experience working in ceramic and glass. I'm glad
Thank
to
you.
participate in this event.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Now, I really like to thank our director, Mr. Gauri Shannavarkar, sir, to give all the support. Thank you so much, sir. And last but not the least, thank you so much all the participants to attend this meeting clay webinars. We will see you soon, as Yashashri said, we will see you soon on 11th on June. Stay tuned for more updates. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.